After slavery was abolished, freedom was fragile. The people who had been enslaved faced unlawful violence from the mobs as well as legalized restrictions that limited their freedom and rights. The people who had just gained their freedom were deeply affected, and these actions caused generational impacts on their descendants who feared that the violence and unfairness would be repeated. The Sikh Museum tells the history of the violent actions and threats against the newly freed people that began immediately after the Civil War ended. Many Kentuckians had volunteered to fight for the Confederacy, and most of them supported slavery. But since Kentucky did not secede from the Union, there was no federal protection sent to the state. Violent, organized mobs destroyed settlements of freed people and killed residents. By 1871, a petition was submitted to the U.S. Congress for protection and listed over 100 acts of extreme violence that had occurred since the end of the Civil War. Logan County had the second largest number of deaths by lynching of all the counties in Kentucky, including 4 innocent men who were simultaneously lynched in Russellville in 1908. The history of that tragic event is told in an exhibit at the Cooksey House, along with stories related to other acts of violence that happened in the area. In addition to illegal violence, Kentucky and many other states passed laws that required segregation and restricted the rights of people of color. These laws applied to restaurants, transportation, housing, education, and personal choices such as marriage. The history of legalized segregation is explained in an exhibit at the Rosenwald School, one of many schools in the South that segregated students by the color of their skin. Freedom from slavery did not result in equal rights or justice, and the Sikh Museum helps us learn about the decades of struggles to obtain and protect these civil rights.